I wrote a letter to a stranger every day for a month. You know that weird moment when your life feels like a playlist stuck on repeat? Same 3 songs, same 3 moods, same damn everything. Yeah, that was me. It hit me one Thursday afternoon in February when I was standing in line at the grocery store, mindlessly scrolling my phone. Some influencer dude posted something like, "You have to create your own magic." For whatever reason, maybe sleep deprivation, maybe 2 Red Bulls, it clicked. I was tired of waiting for my life to get interesting. I decided to make it interesting. So right there, between a rack of trashy magazines and a stand of overpriced beef jerky, I made a stupid, wonderful decision. I was gonna write a letter to a stranger every single day for the next month. No, I wasn't gonna send creepy anonymous notes like a 2000s horror movie villain. I meant real letters, like actual paper, handwritten well mostly, sometimes I printed when my wrist got tired. I wanted to say something real, to connect, to toss a tiny bottle into the ocean and see if anyone out there would find it. I gave myself a few simple rules. 1 letter a day, no skipping. No messaging someone first, only a letter. No expecting replies. Be weird, be honest, be kind. Day 1, a letter to my upstairs neighbor. I started close to home, literally. I had this neighbor, Mr. Heavy Feet, who stomped around at odd hours like he was training for the Stomp Olympics. For months, I hated that dude. But writing a letter to a stranger meant looking at people differently. So I wrote, "Hey neighbor, I hear you walking sometimes. It used to annoy me, but lately it's kinda comforting. Proof that someone's out there living their life when everything feels quiet. Hope you're doing okay. 2B." I didn't even sign my name, just my apartment number. Slipped it under his door and ran like a damn criminal. That night I heard him walking again, a little lighter. Coincidence? Maybe. But it felt good, like I'd thrown a pebble into a still lake and watched the ripples. Day 3, a letter to a random name in the phone book. Yeah, I know, who even uses phone books anymore? But my grandma had one lying around and I figured, why not? I closed my eyes, flipped a few pages and jabbed my finger at a name, Gloria D. Dear Gloria, whoever the hell you are. I hope you had a good breakfast today. I hope someone said your name out loud with love. I hope you laugh at something stupid on TV later. You deserve little joys. I mailed it with a Goofy Frog sticker on the envelope, because why not? Would she ever read it? Probably not. Sending it felt like shouting into the void, and not caring if anyone shouted back. Day 5, a letter to an internet stranger. I posted a vague offer on a random subreddit. If you want a letter, DM me your address. No weird stuff, I promise. Replies came fast. Dude named Carter from Ohio asked for a letter. Girl named B from Portland said she was having a rough week. An older woman, Linda, said it reminded her of when people used to have pen pals. I picked B first. My letter to B. Hey B, I don't know your favorite color or your favorite breakfast cereal, but I hope today something makes you laugh. Hard, like a snort laugh. The kind where you have to grab the table so you don't fall over, because you deserve that. P.S. I bet your favorite cereal is Cinnamon Toast Crunch, just a vibe I'm getting. B replied 3 days later. A full handwritten letter. Turns out her favorite cereal, actually, was Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That coincidence hit harder than it should have. Made me realize, even random connections can feel electric if you're paying attention. Day 8, a letter to a girl I saw crying on the subway. This one was different. I didn't know her name. Didn't even know if she'd ever get the letter. But something about her, head down, silent tears slipping down her cheeks, headphones jammed in like armor, stuck with me. So I wrote, to the girl with the blue backpack on the Beeline train, whatever made you cry, it doesn't define you. I hope you find your way through the storm. I'm rooting for you, even if you never know it. I didn't have an address, obviously. So I folded the letter into a little paper airplane and left it on the subway seat where she'd been. Probably some janitor trashed it. But maybe, just maybe, someone needed those words. By day 10, something weird started happening. I started feeling lighter, like every letter peeled off a layer of whatever heaviness I'd been carrying. I wasn't just reaching out to strangers. I was reconnecting with some forgotten part of myself, a part that still believed in small magic. Day 11, Mr. Heavy Feet isn't who I thought he was. It happened Saturday morning. I was halfway through burning a pancake when there was a knock at my door. I don't get visitors, like ever. When I opened it, there he was. Mr. Heavy Feet himself. Early 40s, stocky build, wearing a faded World's Okayest dad hoodie and holding a pie. He smiled awkwardly. Hey, are you 2B? I nodded, confused. He shoved the pie at me like it was a bomb about to go off. I got your note, and thanks, I didn't realize anyone heard me, it's just, My kid, he lives with his mom now. When he visits, I forget how loud we get. I blinked. No heavy feet, just heavy hearts. Thanks for not hatting me, he mumbled, turning red. Then he added, almost like a confession. I made blueberry pie, it's terrible, but you seem like you could survive it. Reader, the pie was absolutely garbage. But it was the best garbage pie I ever ate. And just like that, I had a new neighbor friend. Life, 1, isolation, 0. Day 13, turning up the volume. That tiny spark of connection made me bold. Maybe a little too bold. But screw it, the world felt too quiet anyway. I posted again on Reddit, but this time I went bigger. I'm writing handwritten letters to strangers for a month. If you want one, DM me your address. Let's make the mail interesting again. No expectations. Maybe 5 replies. 10 tops. I woke up to over 300 messages. Some were simple. Hey, sounds cool, here's my address. Some were deep. I just lost my dad. Could really use something to smile about. Some were bizarre. Please write me a letter pretending we're old pirate friends. I laughed, I cried a little. I panicked. Because now, I actually had to do it. Day 14-17, the letter factory. My life turned into a chaotic assembly line. Classes, work, sleep. Nah, bro. I was busy buying stamps like a 90-year-old grandma prepping for Whitekay. My desk looked like a kindergarten art project exploded. Colorful pens, stickers, glitter, washi tape, weird stationery I panic bought off Etsy at 3 a.m. My roommates thought I'd finally snapped. Maybe I had. But every letter felt like building a tiny bridge across a massive ocean. Some bridges might sink. Some might float. Didn't matter. I was building anyway. Mini snapshot, letters I sent that week. To a woman who asked for a letter for her sick mom. Tell her she's stronger than she feels today. Tell her strangers believe in her too. To a guy recovering from a breakup. It's not your fault. Healing isn't linear. Some days suck, some don't. You're still moving. To a teacher burned out by remote learning. Your students might not say it, but one day they'll remember the one teacher who gave a damn. It's you. To the pirate fan, obviously. Ahoy, first mate Jeremy. Tea's been many moons since we raided the coast of Port Dumbarton. I still owe ye a pint of rum and a punch in the gut for stealin' my parrot. Fair seas, scallywag. Day 18, tiny miracles. I wasn't expecting much. I figured 90% of the letters would disappear into the void. Maybe 10% would make someone smile. But then replies started trickling in. A woman sent me a photo of her mom laughing at my sticker-covered envelope. A college kid from Texas said my letter made him cry, in a good way, during finals week. Pirate Guy sent me a whole hand-drawn treasure map with a thank you note attached. And maybe the wildest part. One woman, Sophia from Kansas, told me she carried my letter in her wallet because it reminded her that strangers can still be kind. I wasn't changing the world. But maybe I was changing a few minutes of someone's bad day. And maybe that was enough. Day 20, meanwhile in real life. Life outside the letters wasn't standing still either. Mr. Heavy Feet, his real name was Kyle, invited me over for bad pizza and even worse Mario Kart sessions. I started smiling more at strangers. Started noticing weird little details. The old man at the bus stop who always wore a polka dot tie. The barista who wrote jokes on coffee cups. It was like waking up inside a life I hadn't even realized I was sleeping through. Day 21, one letter stopped me cold. I was halfway through a marathon writing session, coffee in one hand, cramping pen in the other, when I opened a random DM I'd missed. It was short. Simple. No emoji, no stickers, no crazy requests. Just, if you're still writing letters, I'd love one. Things have been complicated lately, thanks either way. Signed, Maya T. There was something about it. No dramatics. No begging for attention. Just quiet honesty. I didn't know why, but I spent way too long picking the right paper, the right pen, the right words. I wanted to get it right for her. My letter to Maya. Hey Maya, you don't know me, and that's probably the best part. No baggage, no expectations. Just a random human yelling across the void, you're doing better than you think. It's okay if complicated feels messy. Most real things are messy. Take care of yourself like you would a plant you really like. Water, sun, patience. You're worth the effort. I drew a tiny plant doodle at the bottom. I don't even know why. I'm terrible at drawing. The plant looked more like a sad cactus. But I sent it anyway. Day 24, a letter comes back. 3 days later, there was a small envelope in my mailbox. Return address, Maya T. No big dramatic handwriting, no fancy decorations. Just my name in neat, steady letters. Inside was a note. Thank you for writing. I taped your letter to my wall. I was having a really bad day when I found it in my mailbox, like, cancel all plans, lie on the floor bad. Your words didn't fix everything, but they made it lighter. Thank you for making me feel a little less invisible. If you ever want to swap more letters, I'd like that. I read it 3 times, then a 4th. Not because it was particularly flowery or poetic, but because it was real. Real always hits different. Day 26, letter pimples. We started swapping letters, real ones, no texts, no emails. At first, light stuff, favorite books, embarrassing childhood stories, weird questions like, what's your go-to karaoke song even if you can't sing? Hers, Mr. Brightside. Mine, Africa by Toto, respect. Then deeper things. Family stuff. Anxiety spirals. Feeling that everyone else was living in fast forward, while you were stuck on pause. I didn't even realize it was happening at first, but somewhere between all the dumb jokes and heavy confessions, Maya stopped feeling like a stranger. She started feeling like someone I wanted to know on purpose. Day 28, the plant incident. One day she sent me a photo. Tiny, half-dead plant in a chipped mug. Captioned, meet Gerald, he's a work in progress like me. I laughed so hard I scared my roommate. I went out that afternoon and bought my own tiny plant, an equally sad little thing that looked like it had given up on life around 2019. Named it Herbert. Sent her back a photo. Herbert and Gerald should hang out sometime. She replied. They'd probably ignore each other and then fall asleep mid-conversation. Mood. I don't know why, but that felt like one of the best conversations I'd had in months. Day 30, the last official letter. My month was up. 30 days. 30 letters, more like 70 if you counted all the bonus ones. It felt weird, like ending a road trip halfway across the country. I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to mourn. I wanted something. For my last official letter, I wrote Maya again. Thanks for being the unexpected best part of a stupid idea I had standing in line for groceries. Thanks for proving that kindness doesn't have to be loud to matter. Thanks for reminding me that even if we feel invisible sometimes, we're not alone. P.S. Herbert says hi. No pressure. No expectations. Just a letter in the wind. And somehow, it didn't feel like the end. It felt like the start of something else. Day 32, so, wanna meet. It was Maya's idea. Technically, she wrote, we don't have to, seriously, but if you ever wanted to grab a coffee and introduce Herbert to Gerald, I'd be down. No pressure, just 2 plants, 2 weird humans. My heart did the thing. You know, the weird skip flutter that feels like missing a step on a staircase. I stared at the message for a long time. And then I smiled. Big. Like goofy, can't control my face smile. I wrote back. Only if you promise Gerald won't outshine Herbert too badly. Coffee sounds awesome. Day 35, meet cute but make it awkward. We picked a local coffee shop, halfway between our neighborhoods, neutral territory. Public. Safe. Full of caffeine to hide behind. I got there early, because obviously I did. Nervous packing, check. Sweaty palms, check. Practicing how not to sound like a total idiot, big check. Then she walked in. She looked exactly like herself, and nothing like I expected. Messy bun, big hoodie, sneakers covered in doodles. Carrying, I kid you not, Gerald the plant in a tote bag. I stood up so fast, I almost knocked over my coffee. Smooth, real smooth. She smiled, this huge, lopsided, genuine smile, and said, Hey, you must be Herbert's human. God, I wanted to high-five whoever invented this girl. First impressions. It wasn't love at first sight. Not the cheesy movie kind, anyway. It was something quieter. Stronger. Like finding a song you didn't know you were missing until you heard the first note. We talked for hours. About dumb stuff, bad movies, weird neighbors, why plants were the superior pet. About real stuff, fear of failing, feeling stuck, missing people we couldn't get back. At one point, she said, I think the world makes more sense when you know someone out there is rooting for you, even if they're a stranger. I nodded. Realized I didn't feel like a stranger anymore. Not even a little. Mini snapshot, what we talked about that day. Best impulse purchase ever. Oh, Maya, glow-in-the-dark stars for her ceiling at age 23. Oh, me, a hoodie that says, introverted but willing to discuss plants. Weirdest fear. Oh, Maya, accidentally waving back when someone isn't waving at her. Oh, me, that every time I microwave something, I'll somehow trigger the apocalypse. Secret dream. Oh, Maya, open a tiny bookstore that also serves pie. Oh, me, travel the country by train, writing stories about people I meet. One thing we both agreed on. Oh, letters, texts, always. Day 36, the walk home. After the coffee shop closed, we ended up just wandering the streets. No destination. No plan. At one point, Maya stopped and pointed at a street lamp buzzing faintly. That's how I feel sometimes, she said. Like, almost working, almost bright, but kind of just annoying everyone. I don't even know what possessed me, but I said, I think it's kinda beautiful. Even buzzing lights still shine. She looked at me, really looked, and said softly, Thanks for seeing me. And in that moment, under that stupid flickering lamp, surrounded by a city that didn't care we existed, I swear the whole world tilted just a little closer. Day 37, new routine. After that night, we didn't pretend it was just about letters anymore. Texts started happening. Coffee dates turned into museum trips, late-night bookstore hunts, lazy Sunday walks with Herbert and Gerald in tow. We didn't force anything. We didn't label anything. We just kept showing up for each other. Letter by letter. Step by step. And weirdly, it felt like every day I was getting a little more of myself back too. The parts I didn't even know were missing. Day 42, when the past knocks. We were sitting on a picnic blanket in the park, Herbert and Gerald in honorary attendance, when I made the mistake of teasing her about being a mystery girl. You're like an enigma wrapped in a hoodie, I joked. Maya laughed, but there was a tiny flicker behind her smile. I almost missed it. Then she said, quiet, not looking at me, There's a lot about me that's complicated. I shrugged, trying to keep it light. Who isn't complicated? But she wasn't laughing anymore. I wasn't always great at being a good friend, she said. I hurt people, not on purpose, but I did, burn some bridges I can't fix. The air around us changed, heavier somehow. I could tell she wasn't fishing for sympathy. She wasn't even excusing herself. She was just stating facts, owning them. And weirdly, that made me trust her even more. Day 45, the Google spiral. I tried not to. God, I tried. But late one night, curiosity and insecurity got the better of me. I Googled her name. Maya T. City name. A few clicks, a few scrolls. And there it was. An old forum post. Drama-filled social media, thread from years ago. Accusations of ghosting friends. Bailing on commitments. Breaking trust. Nothing criminal. Nothing evil. Just messy, human fallout. Pain that still seemed to echo. I closed the tab fast. Felt gross. Guilty. I sat there in the dark, laptop screen still glowing, heart hammering. Did it change how I felt about her? I didn't know. Day 48, the talk. I couldn't pretend everything was normal. She could tell. Finally, sitting across from her at a tiny ramen place, I just blurted. I Googled you. Maya put her chopsticks down carefully. Took a deep breath. I figured you might eventually, she said. No anger. No guilt tripping. Just tired honesty. I wasn't a great version of myself back then. I know, I'm not proud of it. I'm still trying to be better. She looked at me straight on, like she was daring me to flinch. To leave. I get it if that changes how you see me, she said. I just don't want to lie about who I am, or who I was. And right there I realized. I had a choice. I could reduce her to a few messy screenshots. Or I could choose to see the whole story, the good, the bad, the trying, the growing. And maybe, just maybe, that's what love was. Not seeing someone as perfect, but seeing someone as real and staying anyway. Day 49, the letter that wasn't planned. I wrote her another letter. Old school. Handwritten. No texts. No shortcuts. It said, Dear Maya, you're not your worst day. Or not your biggest mistake. Or all the days you chose to get up and try again, even when nobody was watching. I'm proud to know the you that exists today. And I hope I get to know even more versions of you someday. Always rooting for you. 8. I left it on her doorstep, taped next to Herbert's latest photo shoot. No, Herbert still hadn't grown. If anything, he looked even sleepier. Day 52, healing isn't linear. Things weren't magically fixed overnight. There were awkward moments. Hard conversations. Days when old fears whispered louder than new trust. But we kept showing up. Letter by letter. Step by messy, beautiful step. We learned that forgiveness isn't a single decision. It's a practice. It's looking at someone on their bad days and still choosing to stay. And somewhere between all the coffee runs, bad karaoke sessions, dead plants, and tear-streaked letters, we built something better than perfect. We built something real. A year later. It's funny. A year ago, I was just a bored 24-year-old trying to kill time with a weird personal challenge. Now, I have a shoebox full of letters, 2 half-alive plants, a best friend, a partner, co-conspirator in all things messy and wonderful. Sometimes, late at night, we still write each other letters, even if we're sitting on the same couch, even if we could just say it out loud. Because some feelings deserve the slowness, the thoughtfulness, the ink on paper kind of love. If you're ever feeling invisible, if you're ever stuck on a bad day, write a letter. You never know who might need it. You never know who might find you back. Just don't be surprised when it changes your whole life.